I hope this is called what, something like repeating until we stopped the execution. That part you remember, leave it. This part you be careful. So this indicates what? Value error and then zero error. These are the predefined things. If I go to an index, programming will be starting very soon. Let me start this part also. Development of programmer or user or custom defined exceptions. So first for 30 minutes, I will discuss that. Then we'll go for the complete coding on this area. Exceptions means learning about the predefined exceptions, learning about the programmer defined exceptions. Combined together, examples will be done. So let's start with what do you mean by programmer defined exceptions. Tell me, what is the meaning of programmer defined exceptions? What is the definition of programmer defined exceptions? So types of exceptions already explained in the class. The types of exceptions already explained in the class. Two types. One is a predefined. One more is a programmer defined. In the predefined, I already mentioned it. Predefined exceptions are those which are already developed by language developers, available in Python software, available in Python software, and they are used by language programmers for dealing with universal problems. And some of the universal problems are invalid index error, invalid conversions, value error, invalid number of arguments or operations if you do, that is called type error. Passing invalid key is a key error. Division by zero problems is comes under zero division error. These are the types of exceptions we learned it. And this part we know all errors we learned is called exceptions today. And at the same time, there is one more thing. This is a very, very important students in real time. Programmer or user or custom defined exceptions. That says programmer or user or custom defined exceptions are those which are developed by Python programmers and they are available in Python project and they are used by other team members as well in the same project and they are always deals with common problems occurring in the same project. Some of the common problems are what which I already said to you. Suppose you are entering invalid username and password. Anything is invalid, it is known as what? Exception. Keep in mind, anything is invalid, that is known as exception. Keep in the mind. Not reading notes, it is an exception. Not doing anything properly, that is called exception only. Exception gives you what? Exception is nothing but what in Python? Object. Object need what? Exception class. Exception class I need. But exception class is not there in Python software. We need to develop. That's why it is known as what? Programmer defined exception. Invalid username password purpose. There is no exception class to create an object. That's why we will create our own username and password. Our own class we will develop it. Attempting to enter invalid pin exception. Every exception gives you what? Object. Object need what? Exception class. That exception class is not there in where? Python software. Which is there in where? Programmer need to develop it. That programmer will be called as what? Programmer defined exception. Attempting to withdraw more amount than existing balance. Attempting to withdraw more amount than existing balance. Again, exception. Anything you do wrong in your operation time, that is called exception. That exception is called what? Object. Need exception class. We will develop the exception class for that. That is called a programmer defined exceptions. Attempting attempting to enter invalid names for people, places, and product. Enter your name. I'm entering 123. Invalid. Entering the place. Invalid. Dollar you are entering. Something like that. All invalid names you are entering. That is called an exception only. Everything is going to Everything which you enter is called invalid. That is called exception only. But we will be developing a class. That's why we will call it as what? Programmer defined exceptions. This part I will carry as it is here. So I'm writing programmer defined exceptions are those. Programmer defined exceptions are those which are used for, which are developed by Python programmers that you people are developing, and they are available in the Python project, and they are used by other team members of same project, and they always deals with common problems occurring in the project. Some of the common problems are these things I said. So I'm writing if any kind of exception is not present in, if any exception related class is not present in predefined software Python, we will develop such exception class. Such exception class is known as what? Programmer defined exception. So what are the steps to be taken for development of programmer defined? So the following steps, or I will write subheading here. Steps for developing, here I am writing steps for developing, steps for developing, developing programmer or custom defined exceptions. Steps for developing programmer or user defined exceptions or custom defined exceptions I'm going to take up. So how we need to develop it? Now I'm going to talk about it. There are 3 steps are available. Let me talk about the 3 steps. Very, very important session. Carefully try to follow. 3 steps are there. I'll go for 3 steps here. So while I'm discussing these 3 steps, you require inheritance concept, which is a WOOPS concept, which we are going to discuss in detail in the further. In the WOOPS, I will explain about the inheritance. The one more word also I am using today, class. Already we are using class concept, but in detail we are going to get these things in the WOOPS level. We are going to get it. And before going to these 2 things, I would like to go to the paint. So before going to learn these 3 steps, I will use today these 2 things. So let me go for using those 2 things here. So I'm going to use it something like this. Watch it, students, carefully. Now I'm going to take up something like this. What I'm going to use it, I'm saying some small concept here. Exception handling hierarchy chart. Exception handling hierarchy chart. Exception handling hierarchy chart. So this exception handling hierarchy chart I'm writing. Try to follow me carefully here. So exception handling hierarchy chart I'm going to discuss. So here, very, very easy. As a part of that, I'll post this also for you. As a part of that, see students, we are taking one diagram here. Try to understand. As a part of that, I'll write something in the box after a few minutes. Try to follow. Here I'm writing exception names, which you know already in the class. What are the various exceptions you know already in the class? Come on. Zero, division error, that you know already. Zero division error. Try to spell out all the things which you already know. Zero division error, which why this will be coming, why this will come when the denominator is zero, you will get it. Index error, when the invalid index is passing, whose object will be created. Value error is going to come when we are going to use invalid conversions. Invalid conversions. One more thing we are using it, that is called a key error. Key error is going to come when we are going to pass invalid keys. Next is called what type error. Type error is going to come when we pass invalid arguments. Next is called module not found error. Module not found error, which is going to come when we are not going to import proper module name. And you are going to get it attribute error. Attribute error. Attribute error will be coming when we are going to use a wrong attribute name. Next is called what? Indentation error is not a error. It is not an exception. It is a compile time error, I said. Syntax error, indentation error, or called what? Compilation error, I already said. Already said in the class. Don't tell that. Next is called what? Another one, unbound local error, unbound local error, unbound local error. Come on, anything else? Unbound local error. Next. So name error is also one of the example of syntax error only. Syntax, that is, if the compiler doesn't found the variable name, PVM will not be. PVM will be taking care about what? These errors. Anything is wrong input, that is going to be called as what? Runtime error. Runtime errors are known as what? Exception related classes. Name error, indentation error, and a syntax error are caught by whom? Python compiler. Next is called what? Like that. File not found error. After this topic, we are entering into the file not found error. Next I'm going to take up. Next I'm going to take up IO error. IO error. We are going to take up. Next we are going to talk about OS error. OS error. Next we are going to talk about if I go on writing it, database error. Database error. We are going on discussing etc. Like that. We are writing many more of that. All these things are what? Predefined exceptions. All these things are comes under a predefined. These many number of things are called predefined exceptions. They are called. All these things are comes under predefined. These things already you defined it. Already these things you defined, students. These things are already you defined it. These are already defined in the Python software. Do you know? All these things are subclasses of exception or base exception. Anything you can take, students. Once again, I'm telling online students and offline students, either you can take exception or you can take base exception. There is no difference. Both of them are similar. This is known as what base class. First time I am using this word base or super class we are calling. I'll give you an example for you. Don't worry. So here I'm going to take up base or super class we can call. These are called what these things are called predefined predefined exception subclasses we can call. Predefined exception subclasses. Predefined exception subclasses. Predefined exception subclasses we can call. Well, and this part you keep it aside. This part you keep it aside. Now, students, you try to understand very perfectly. This is called one hierarchy chart. Before that, I'm going to take up for general awareness purpose, some general awareness purpose, the right side explanation. So, general awareness purpose, general awareness. So, what is this meaning of? What is the meaning of inheritance and how this inheritance is useful to you as a part of our Python coding here? Very easy. Let us take the simple part here. Students, you take an example of parent and child relationship. Parent and child relationship. Parent and child relationship. Here there is a parent. Here there is a parent and the child of that. So here all the parent property will be coming to where? Child. So all types of parents in the universe are called what? Hmm. I already said an example to you. All types of mobiles are called what? All types of mobiles are called what? Objects. Mobile is called what? Class. I said in the beginning days of it. Types of students are what? Yeah, objects. Student is called what? Class. Types of students are called what? Objects. Student is called class. Types of teachers are called what? Objects. And teacher is called what? Class. Then, like that, all parents are what? Objects. Parent is what? Class. What is the child? Child is a class. All children are what? Objects. Something like that. Every property of parent, I'm talking, every property of parent is coming to where? Child. So parent is called what? Super to whom? Child, or base to the child. That's why parent is called superclass. Child is called subclass. How you write the code in Python? The code in Python can be written as like this. Class. To develop any type of class in Python, we will use a keyword called class. That you don't worry. We will discuss in detail of. Now coming to the point of it, even that was shown in the regularly in my classes. Come to that help of what here list. List is called what here class. So to define a class, they used which keyword? Similarly, to define my own class, which keyword I am using? Class. What is this now? Parent. Don't worry about it. I'm writing pass. I'm writing pass here. I'm writing pass. Parent I'm writing and say pass. So here I'm writing parent and then pass here. Next I'm trying to write it. Next I'm trying to write it. Here I'm going to say another kind of class I'm writing. Class. Child I'm writing. Child I'm writing. Here I'm writing. Child I'm writing. In the couple bracket, I'm writing parent. I'm trying to write parent here. Class child of what? Parent. I'm writing pass. What is the meaning of this entire discussion? Class child of parent. I'm writing it. So here, if you carefully follow, the parent properties, all of them are coming to where? Child. So the parent worked very hard and made some properties ready here. Those properties are coming to where? Child. Are you following me? Similarly, if you understand, one more example I would like to mention it. One more example I would like to mention it. A teacher and student relationship in the class. A teacher and student relationship in the class. So, what do you mean by student here? Quick class. What is the teacher here? Class. What is the student once again? Class. What is the teacher? What is the relationship between teacher and student? Teacher is called which class? Come on. Super class. What is the teacher is called? Come on. Huh? Right. So is this. So Suresh is asking, why we are putting pass here, sir? You try to write imposition first. You try to write imposition first. First you write 1,000 times imposition. Then that punishment is not even sufficient for you. Mr. Suresh, write at least 1,000 times imposition. So that punishment is still less. Whenever the indentation is coming, when I don't want to write indentation block, we will write what? That's all. That's all. He is asking why why we go for pass here. It's called meaningless doubt. It is a meaningless doubt, first of all. Come to the point. So next, what is the teacher here? Base class. What is the student here? Sub class. So how do you write the code here? How do you write the code here? Come on, fast. Class. Come on, class feature. I say pass. Why I'm writing pass here? Because I'm not going to write any indentation. No need to write it. No need to write it. Coming to the point of it, here I'm writing class student. Class student again. So here I'm going to say class student of what? Teacher. Class teacher of what? Student. So here it is going to be a pass. So here I'm going to say, coming to the point back, what is the teacher is called here? Base class, super class, and a student is called what? Subclass. So here I will mention it. It is called a base class. This is called a base class, and student is called subclass. So students, I hope you are understanding. Student is called here. I will write it. I will mention it. Base class here, and this is called what? Subclass. Here I will write it. It is a subclass. So or derived class we can call. This is subclass, and this one is called this one. Also, parent is called what class? Base class. And next is called what? Subclass. Subclass. Here I'm going to write it. So this is the topic which I said. That means I am going to tell that teacher is going to give you what? The subject when the teacher is explaining full subject, the full subject will come to where? Student. But what are all the properties are there with the teacher? Those properties will come to where? Student. If the teacher teaches very good, the student has to become good if they read well. If they don't read well, even the teacher teaches well. In our case, we can't do anything else. So in the case of that, that means depends on the base class properties, subclass will be getting the behavior. Similar manner, there is a class called exception or base exception, which is containing some properties. Which properties? When something is invalid input is entering, to abnormally terminate the program, to make the PVM to come out of it, by default to give what? Technical error message. Three properties related code was already defined in which class? Exception class. This property, exception handling total properties defined in where? Exception. What are the exception handling properties? Three properties. Invalid input is entering, program execution is abnormally terminated, PVM comes out of the program flow and gives what message? Technical error message. This was already explained in the classes. This was already explained in the day before yesterday only. Those three properties, if we want to have it, internally one object is created. That object can be what? Any one of these class object. Correct or not? These classes are getting the properties from where? Exception. Tell me how they developed this key error. Just tell me how they developed this key error. Come on, think of how they developed this key error. Can you expect it? How the key error is developed it? Can you expect it? How the key error is developed it? You cannot because you are not in the picture of the subject. Now I'm going to write it. How they developed it? Here I will write it. Class they developed as what? Class key error is a subclass. Key error is a subclass of what? Exception. Exception. And say what? Pass. Pass. So here I wrote it. Key class key error and of what here? Exception colon what? Pass. Next I'm going to take up one more here. What is the next one? Class. What is the next error? Type error. Type error of what here? Exception. Exception colon what? Pass. All the exception handling properties are coming to where? It's a subclass. All exception handling properties are coming to where? It's a subclass. Simple. And you want to become one magician. When you go to birthdays, some magical powers are shown on the dais. So you will get a desire to become like that. What you will do? You need one trainer or not? What is that? Class, student, student, that is called junior magician you are going to become, and you need one senior magician to make you to learn or not. What is the senior magician is called? Super class. What is the junior magician is called? All its magical powers are coming in you. Like that, all exception handling qualities are available in where? Exception or base exception that are inherited into where? These kind of classes. Understand? Now I want to develop my own exception. I want to develop my own exception. How to develop my own exception? To develop my own exception, I will write it here. Come on, what is this now? Login error. Login error. Login error is called a normal class only. It is a normal class, but I'm making that class as what? Exception. So how do you do it? In my class, you inherit the properties of what? Come on, exception. Exception will provide what? మొద్దు బాబులు చెప్పాను కదా మీకు. So three properties are provided. Abnormal termination comes out of it, gives technical error message. Those three properties are coming to where? Login error. Login error. All the three things are coming into this login error. So login error is becoming what? Programmer defined exception subclass. Student ikkada predefined exception subclasses. All of them are called predefined exception subclasses. And what about this? This is my own class developing here, which is taking the properties from where? Exception. Hence, a login error is called what here? Here, login error is called what? Programmer defined exception. Programmer defined exception. I'm going to write it. Programmer defined exception I'm writing. Login error is called programmer defined exception. So I hope that you people are understanding what is the meaning of this exceptions here. Programmer defined exception. So what I did here, what are the steps to be remembered? Number one is called what here? Number one, choose your class name. To develop any exception on your own, you need to choose your class name. You need to get the inheritance, you need to get the exceptional properties from where? Either exception or base exception. And you need not to write any body over there. Just you say what? Pass. That you need not worry about it. Only two steps and save this entire program on some name. That name is acting as a module name. So I'm writing choose the programmer defined class. Choose the programmer defined class. Choose the programmer defined class. That next is what? The programmer defined class. The programmer defined class must inherit from must inherit from hmm, must inherit from either exception must inherit from predefined must inherit from exception or base exception. Base exception classes. Exception or base exception classes for inheriting the exception handling properties. What are the exception handling properties? Already mentioned it. Abnormal termination, making the PVM to come out of it and making it to generate what? Technical error messages. Here I can write it. Hence, here I will write. Hence, the programmer defined class is called. Hence, the programmer defined class is called. Programmer defined class is called is called programmer defined exception subclass. Programmer defined exception subclass. Here I'm writing programmer defined exception subclass. Programmer defined exception subclass. Programmer defined exception subclass. Right? I think you are following. So here, one more point I will write it. Here, exception and base exception are the predefined. Here, exception or base exception are the predefined superclasses for all the exceptions in Python. For all the exceptions in Python. For all the exceptions in Python. I hope you are following me. So the point is exception qualities are coming from where? Exception or base exception. If you want to develop your own exception, get the qualities of exception in which class? Login error. If you want to become a Python student, what do you define? Class student of in the bracket Python teacher. So you'll become what student? Python student. Class student in the bracket Java teacher. You'll become which student? Java teacher. Class student of what do you know? You are writing something like a C language you are taking. You will become a C language student. Whichever properties are coming, the properties will be getting here. Are you following? Right. So coming to the point of it, I hope this is done. Step number 3, save the step number one, and step number 2 on some file name, on some file name with an extension dot py file name dot py acts as what? Acts as what name? Module name, so that we can reuse everywhere. So I think you are following me. So this is very clear to you people. This is very clear to you people. Here I am writing it. Here we are writing it. So take care, students. This is the one I'm going to take up here. I think you are following here. But so finally, now I'm going to the examples here. Online students, is this concept is clear? Examples, I'll go for it. What are the examples? Develop, define the Python code, define the Python code or dealing with invalid login data, invalid login problems, invalid login problems, invalid login problems. How do you take it? Choose your class name. What is the class name? Login error. Of what here? Exception. Of what? Pass. Next I'm going to write it. Class. What is that next? Pin error. Pin error. Of what here? Base exception. Of colon what here? Pass. Class here. What is the next one? Deposit error. Deposit error. Of what here? Exception. Colon what? Pass. Here, etc. Here, we take it. Login error. Login error. Comma what next? Comma next. Pin error. And what next? And what? Deposit error. Deposit error. Or etc. Or comes under what? Programmer defined. Programmer defined exception subclasses. Programmer defined exception subclasses. I think it is more clear. So this is the development we did. Now we will enter into the coding. See, concept should be clear. I'm giving a concept is very clearly. Now the coding will be done most easily once you understand. Here are two things: exception or subs. Exception and sub. A person trained under a good quality, that person will become a good quality student. A person trained under criminal, what will happen? The person will become criminal because criminal qualities will come. If a friend is lazy friend, that sub friend will become lazy friend only. If you are there in the room where the roommates are reading 24 hours only studies, definitely that person will read. Either that person will read or he will vacate and go to some other lazy friend room. Only two rules. If the total friends are not reading, another new joining person also will become lazy only. Correct? That is called what? Inheritance. Are you following me? Right. Coming to the point of it, now go to the place once again. So coming to this place, these points already explained here, very clearly explained now. What is the base class? What is the subclass? I explained here. I already explained here. Again and again, explanation is not possible. You need to listen very carefully. Already explained here, already explained here, already explained 3 times. Plus, I already explained here 4 times explained. Again and again, explanation is not possible. You have to carefully deal with it. Either you can take exception or you can take base exception. Anything you can take. There is no difference. I said already in the class. Already I said in the class. Need to listen very perfectly. Are you following me? Right. This part, now I'm going to the coding. Now I'm going to the coding. At the same time of dealing these things, so I'm going to enter into the further. So here, going to the coding level now. So if you want PyCharm, you can take it, you take PyCharm. Anything you can take. Now I'm going to enter into the PyCharm. So let us start with the PyCharm here. So exception, base exception are going to be called what? Same nature will be there. They are just defined in different versions. Like 3.7 base exception was there. 3.8, 3.9, still 3.11 and 12. What is there? The exception is only available. Anything you can take it. There is no problem at all. I said already. So I'm going to take it now. 7 a.m. exceptions. 7 a.m. exceptions examples. So I'm going to take up. Let me start working on that area. So what is our discussion now? How to develop our own exception. Simultaneously, while I am discussing this coding, I need to go for introducing the concept called what also? Raise also I need to go for it. Raise keyword also I need to go for it. Raise keyword. Are you following me? Raise. Let me give you one beautiful point here. Tell me 10 by 0. What is it? Very good. That means when I use this statement, see, now only I'm going to make you to understand the raise keyword. When you are writing this statement, PVM will check what? Denominator. What is the denominator? Immediately, PVM raises Which kind of exception? Zero division error. Raise. What is the name of the exception? Zero division error. Understood that? So what is the raise is doing? Whenever the invalid input is taking place, unable to be processed by the PVM. And PVM immediately doing what? Uses which keyword? The raise and that exception name. What is that exception name? Next, one more time. Int of KVR. Is the PVM is able to convert it? No. So what PVM will do? Either conversion or not conversion. Either output or exception. Either job or unemployment. Job, no job. Job means what? Successful result. When you read well. When you don't read well, no job. Exception. That is a simple. Correct? So int of KVR. Is the PVM is able to convert it? No. Now you see. Is the PVM is able to convert it? Yes. Yes, it is able to convert it. Now I'm going to write it here KVR. Is it able to convert it? No. When it is not able to convert means what input it is? Invalid input. Invalid input means exception. Exception uses what? Object to create. Object creation require exception class. What is that exception class? Value error. So PVM uses which keyword internally? Raise. What is the error name? That's all. If the value you are passing is alphanumeric, alphanumeric, the value you are passing to this int is called what? Alpha. Is alpha. Immediately raise what? Value error. Value error. If the denominator is 0, raise what? So exception birth will start from which keyword? Raise. Raise. So what is the use of raise? The raise is used to hit the exception. Hitting. Hitting means what? Generating. Hitting means what? Generating. When the certain condition is taking place, what is using? Raise. Simple. I will write it. What is the thing? DEF. I am writing a function name called DEV. A comma B. A comma B. What is happening? If I write A by B, I am writing B double equal to 0. B double equal to 0. What is the B double equal to 0? Denominator is 0. What I will use it? Raise 0 division error. 0 division error. What is the use of this raise keyword? When the denominator is 0, what is happening? So when you take it, this type of function div, when the denominator is 0, PVM uses which keyword internally? Raise. That exception name will be there. Coming to this function name now, def. What is the function name? Int. Int of. What I am using there? Something like a. What the value of a is coming now? KVR. KVR is called what here? C. This is going to contain what? KVR. Next is called 2x. Next is called 2x. Next is called KVR. Next is called 22. What is the nature of yes? This one. Come on. If it is digit, if a dot what is digit, if a dot is digit, you do the conversion. Convert, convert. Right or not? Convert. If it is not a digit, you do what? Else. What do you do? Raise value error. No teacher will explain all these things. You see other batch notes. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. Yesterday I said even in Nampai also. I've seen one student, notebooks I've seen of other batch students, two notebooks. In that, slicing itself is not there, indexing itself is not there. I shocked. Exception handling, oops, regular expressions, multi-threading, totally not there. Totally not there. Functions, only 3 pages. While loop, one example, completed in 40 days. Very danger. That's why save your friends' things. So come on to the point of it. Here A. What is this KVR is coming to A? A dot is digit false. Come to where? Raise what? Value error. I think you are following me. Now, suppose if I pass it as what? 10. What is the 10 integer? It is a int. A dot is digit. True. Conversion code. No exception is coming. So what is the use of raise? Raise is a keyword which is used for hitting the exception or generating the exception. That is known as what? Raise keyword purpose. Today we are developing our own exception. Our exceptions, if you want to raise it, you have to use the raise keyword, something like this. Simple, simple. If you are a teacher, if your student is not answering, what is raised? What is raised? P of KVR, KVR with a function question. This is called question. Q, question, Q. If Q dot, Q dot is answered, is answered, is answered, is answered, good, good student, good student. Else, what will happen? Is not answered, coming to where? Raise, raise, come on. Angry, angry error, angry error. Raise hand up. Raise hand is what? Angry error. See that. So, D of KVR, putting a question to the student. Q dot is answered, good student, successful result. Else, raise what? Angry error. What is the angry error? Angry error is my class. What is that class? PVM don't know. You tell. Angry error is a class which is not a normal class, which is an exception class. Beautiful. In real time projects, you will come across like this. Understand? So, come to the point of it. Krishna Reddy. Out of order. That is also correct. Out of order error, that is. So, if you take any, see students, this is a open secret. You already know. When you are seeing in NumPy Pandas class, that many students are coming and sitting here. When we are looking them, when we are asking, when we are about to ask the question, they are not looking at it. They are just looking. What is that? And lot of those people, because I said that I will give the notes. Already they purchased our notes from the Xerox shops. So one student came with our Xerox notes yesterday and is asking, sir, explain slicing. Slicing I used to explain almost 4 to 5 hours to you in the class. So they doesn't have that slicing, all the rules and regulations and everything. Totally theory they are explaining. Totally theory, no coding. And that student is feeling what? They know Python. Before our class, they know Python. They felt that. But student is saying, sir, I felt that I know Python, but after attending this class, I come to know that I don't know any Python. He's saying one word. I don't want to use that word. It's not Python, sir. It is a Python, he's saying. That student is saying that. Even myself felt that don't worry. I'll give my notes, I said. Okay, sir. By reading notes, how can I understand, sir? Logic development I need, sir. Logic development is coming only through by listening the class. Correct or not, students? So that's why you try to take care and try to use properly. So are you understanding this now? How many keywords are there? 5. So what is the first keyword comes into picture for exception birth? Rise. Once it is rising, you have to handle it. You have to monitor. How do you monitor next? Try. How do you process next? Accept. How do you print the result if no exception? Else. How do you go for relinquish the resources? Finally, what is the order of the keywords in exception handling? Raise, try, accept, else, finally. That is an order. I'll come to this raise keyword. I think you are understanding raise. Implicitly, PVM uses raise for predefined. Explicitly, I am making to use the PVM to go for what? Programmer defined exception. Let me go to that. Write down, open the notes. All of you open the notes. Write a Python program. Write a Python program. Write a Python program. Write a Python program which will which will which will deals with which deals with division by zero problems, which will deals with division by zero problems, which deals with division by zero problems, division by zero problems, or ORR, ORR, very, very important. Develop an exception, programmer defined exception class, develop a programmer defined exception class, develop a programmer defined exception class, develop a programmer defined exception class in such a way that, in such a way that, in such a way that it should work like zero division error. It should work like, it should work like zero division error. Zero division error. Zero division error. What is the zero division error, students? Predefined exception, correct? We have to develop our exception. It should work like what? Zero division error. It means we are writing our own class which works like a zero division error. Online students, did you understand that question? Did you understand that question? Quickly answer it. So here I'm going to enter into this. So first case I'm going to, how simple it is. Now, first I need to go for what? Three phases required in development of these applications. See students, you want to eat mango, for example. From here I want to, let me explain. You want to eat mango. What are the phases required? What are the phases required? What are the phases required? Three phases required. Number one, hmm? Huh? What is that? Buy mango. Okay, good. Good. Who said that? Good. Really good. Who said? You said. Okay, good. Buy mango. Buy mango. Okay. Buy mango. Laya is saying buy cut to eat. Okay. Okay, good. To buy, to buy a mango, what is required? Hmm? What is that? Money is there, everything is there. Next, what is required? First of all, mango must be there now. Mango must be there. That means mango cultivation is required. Right or not? Mango tree, you need to plant it. Mango tree, you need to plant it. Mangoes will be there. This is nothing but what? Production is required. Production is required. Development is required. Development is required. Mango tree is required. Cultivation of mango tree is required. Yes, from that mango cultivation, it will come to the market. Then you are going to do what? Buy. This is called selling. This is called selling the mangoes so that you can buy. Next, after that, what you will do? You will consume. You will consume. Consume is nothing but what? You are just utilizing for your purpose. In varieties of ways, you can use it. Anything you take it, production, that is called a development, and the next is called a hitting, and the next is called what? Using. Using. Suppose you want to buy a car. You want to buy a car. Car development, car is hitting, it's called car selling, and car using. You want to buy a dress. You want to buy a dress. Dress development, dress selling, dress using. Exception usage, exception development, exception hitting, exception handling, exception development, exception hitting, exception handling. Understood? That three phases I'm going to develop now. What is this now? First case. What is this now? Here we are going to develop a class. What is the class name I am using? Here I'm going to write it caviar dot or something like arithmetic, arithmetic error, arithmetic except dot py, arithmetic except dot py is my file name. What are the steps I said? Here I said the steps. Development of programmer defined exceptions. Choose the class name and do that. Here I'm going to write it. Class, what is the class name? What is the class name? I'm going to take it. Arithmetic, arithmetic, AR, arithmetic div error, div error of what I am taking? Exception. Colon what? Pass. Arithmetic div error is called what? Pass. What is this arithmetic except? Is called what? File name and module name. Module name. When it is a module name, students, when it is a module name, whether it is containing global variable or it must contain a function name or it must contain a class name. Is it a class name or not? Yes, class name. Are you following me? Yes. What is the arithmetic div error? It is my own class, which is inheriting the qualities from where? Exception class. So this class is present into where? Arithmetic except.py. It is a file name and what? Module name. Finished. Arithmetic except. Here I will write a comment. Here, arithmetic div error. Arithmetic div error is one of them. Is one of them. Hmm. Programmer defined. Programmer defined exception class. Programmer defined exception class. Exception class. Are you able to follow now? Programmer defined exception class. Clear or not clear? This is comes under phase number 1. Any real-time problem, if you start, you have to start with the exception first. That is done. Second one, I am going to take it, student. When I complete the example now, you will get much clarity. What is this now? Arithmetic, arithmetic. So I'll write it. Arithmetic, arithmetic operation, arithmetic operation, div dot py. Arithmetic operation div dot py. In that, what I am doing? Division, I am going to write it. Division, I am going to write it. There, I am going to pass two variables which are coming from main program. There, I am going to write it. What is it? If I write like this, C is equal to A by B, C is equal to A by B. By default, if I write this statement, if the denominator I pass from main program is called what? 0. What is happening? By default, PVM uses which keyword? Raise. Which exception? Zero division error. But today I don't want to use zero division error. I want to make my class works like what? Zero division error. For that, I will write my own logic here. If B is equal to 0, B is equal to 0. If the denominator is 0, I tell to PVM, you don't raise zero division error. You raise my own error. That's why I'm using explicitly. It's called raise. What is my class name? What is my class name? Arithmetic division error. Arithmetic division error. It is an error. I need to take it from where? From where? Arithmetic except. Import the class name from module name. Import your class name. Done. Then else I will write it. What is that else? Return of what? A by B. Return of A by B. Is it clear? Return of A by B, I wrote it. B is equal to 0. Raise your exception. Else, return what? A by B. This is comes under phase number 2, student. This is comes under phase number 2. It is the common operation it is doing. Common operation. Here, division. This is comes under phase number 2. Phase 2. Here, what are we doing? Here, we are hitting the exception. Here we are hitting the exception. We are working like a code developer. For what? Other people. We are just like working like a code development, like a int function. How they use the int function? When they are converting int function, we are saying if it is a digit, we do that code. If it is a non-digit, we use to raise the exception. Like that, we are saying B is 0, raise the error. Otherwise, give the result. This is comes under here. We are hitting the exception. There it is called phase 2. Phase 2. Third, I'm going to say this is also known as what? File name and what module name. Module name. Module name. Done. Third one I'm going to take up. Third one. What is the third one? It is called arithmetic, arithmetic operation, operation main, operation main.py. I'm going to execute from that place. Here I'm writing. What I'm doing, call it as which function. I will call this function. Which function I'm calling? Division a function I'm going to call it. Division function I'm going to take it. There I'm going to pass it as what? 10 and 2. What is this is known as here? Function call. What this is known as? Function call. Function call require what? From, what is this now? From arithmetic operation, div. From arithmetic operation, div. Import what? Division. Division. I hope that it is following now. So it is a division. Some small space is there. Division. This is a function call. With this, what is happening? Either result will come or exception will come. Student, either result will come or exception will come. If you read well, you'll get the job. Otherwise, exception will come. If you do good things, good result will come. If you do wrong things, wrong result will come. It is a universal. Your life of yours is called one Python program only. If you do good, good result will come. If you do wrong, wrong result will come. 100%. That is a universal script. So here also, go to the place. I'm passing the data. Finally, I'm going to get RES. This function call gives what? Either result or exception. Result or what? Exception. So try to print this now. RES, I'm saying, try to run. I'm passing valid input. Strictly go to this place and are doing what? AB 10 to 2 is equal to 0. Else coming to else 10 by 2. What is the answer is coming here? 5. Run this code. Perfectly output is coming here. Perfectly this output is coming. Let me move to the top of the right. So here 5.0 coming or not? That gives what? Result. Now I'm passing what here? 0. 0. What is happening? Same flow తీసుకోవాలి ఇక్కడ flow. It will go to where? Arithmetic operation div. 10 0. 0 is equal to 0. True. It raises an exception. Send that exception here. Which message will come? Technical error message will come because you did not write what? Try and accept block. See that such a big message is coming. Arithmetic div error of each module. So what I should do? When any statement is generating exception, that statement will be written under try. Madhubhavale, yesterday only I said explanation. It is the block in which we write the block of statement generating exception. In other words, what are all the statements are generating exceptions? Those statements must be written within try block, and hence try block is called exception monitoring block. Such a beautiful notes I gave you. Such a beautiful notes. So you got it. Now I'll write it here. Try. Try I am writing. And here I am writing here. This result I will write it here. Let it be. Here I am writing EXCEPT. What should I write it? I need to write the error name. I got the error name or not? Which error? This error is coming. I will write it. Actually, PVM don't know what is it. PVM don't know. I am writing here \t. I'm writing don't enter 0 for denominator. Don't enter 0 for denominator. Arithmetic operation. Arithmetic. Spelling you don't see. Don't look at. I wrote wrong spelling. Arithmetic. Because it is a code. It is taken at that class only. So if we go to this place, here, arithmetic. Here, arithmetic. If you want to change, you can change it. You can change it. And here also you need to change it. Here also, you need to change it. Here also you need to change it. Here also you need to change it. So here I will change it here also. I will write it. Then you go for it, run it. You will get what? Error again. It cannot find what is that now. You need to import or not. Come on, from where? From arithmetic EXCEPT. Import arithmetic division error. Beautiful. Start the flow. 10, 10, 0. Go to where? Division function is present into where? This module. It goes to this place and looking for AB 10 and 0. 0 is equal to 0. True. Raise arithmetic div error. It goes to this place and gives the result back. It is giving the exception. Raising the exception here. Raising the exception. When it is raising, sending to the place from where you called, handling by this error, and it's going to give this message. So run this code and you got it. Don't enter 0 for what? Denominator. Now I will write it RES. Else part I am writing. Else part I will write this logic here. This you cut it. So there you try to write it. Here I am writing. There I am writing. DIV is equal to division is equal to dot format of what? RES. Dot format of RES. Try to run it. Try to run it. There you are going to get this answer. You take it as what? 2. 2 you write it. Answer is going to come as what? 5. If you enter a valid input, result I will give. If you enter wrong input, I'll tell what wrong input is entered. That time is my program is strong or not. If you do good, go to job. If you don't do good, read the notes. These are two solutions. Come on here. Now this is called what? The input is going to be having what? Fixed input I'm passing. There I'm going to take it what? X is equal to int of input of enter first numerical value. First numerical value. Second I will take it. Enter second numerical value. Second numerical value. There you are writing. It is called a what? Y. Both x and y you pass to whom? Div function. X comma y you pass it. Start the flow. This is known as what? Main program. This is known as a main program. This is called handler. Exception handler. This is called exception hitting. This is called exception development. Development of an exception, hitting an exception, handling the exception. Mango development, mango selling, mango eating. Only directly eating not possible. Will eat directly. Anything to do something consume, it has to sell it. It has to produce from the marketplace. So this place, start the flow, all of you. Understand the flow, students. Enter the first numerical value. Who will accept this? Come on, it is an interface for you. What is the value? 10. And next is called what? 5. 5 or 2. Who is entering this input? End user. Who will take this? Main program. Main program is accepting input, sending to one internal processor or not. Who is that person here? Division. It will go to where? Division. What is the value of AB? 10, 2. 2 is equal to 0. Return what? 10 by 2. What is the value? 5 is coming and placing in where? Is there any exception occurring here? Go to where? Else block and printing this result. Beautiful flow. Beautiful flow. That flow you need to know. That flow you need to know. Let us run again. Here I am saying 100 and then 0. Who is entering this input? End user. When I go to ATM center, some screen is visible to you. That is called interface for you. You will enter some inputs. Internally, some functions are interacting with it to validate your input or not. PIN number validation, your amount validation, your currency, what currency to be given, and all those things. So, what is that now? 100 and 0. Who will enter? End user. Who will accept it? Main program. Sending to which function? Div function. It goes to where? Div function related module. Div function related module. Division. AB value is how much? 100 and 0. 0 is equal to 0. Raise an exception. To raise an exception, it has to see its development or not. Already it was developed in where? This place. So it is coming to main program. From wherever you called it, to that place exception hitting will be sent. Immediately you are doing that, handling that. You are ready to enjoy the result. You are ready to enjoy the exception also. Both of them you are writing. That is called what? Don't enter 0 for denominator. Your ATM machine is ready to give the money. Your ATM machine is ready to give what? Invalid PIN message also. If you enter a valid input, output will come. If you enter invalid input, this message will come. That type of projects are called strong projects. Understand this? So online students, I hope this is very clear for you people. This is very clear for you people. Is it clear, students? All the students must. Such a first case I am entering. Simple example I said. Can I go to one more example? One more example I want to go for it. This is the one of the case. How many examples here? How many things? This is called which case? This one? It is called the phase number 3. We are dealing with what? Here we are, here we are handling the exceptions. Here we are handling the exceptions. Handling the exceptions. You will understand, no doubt in that. Lot of examples I say. First, మీరు చదువుకొని ఉండాలి. First, you must read the notes. Without reading, if you see only like this, you cannot understand. So to become a good person, first you need to have the content of how to become a good. Then you can follow the things. Same thing here also like this. So exception development, exception hitting, exception handling. Development, hitting, handling. These three things I said. Now I want to go forward. Come on. One more example I want to tell you, like what error? Value error. Because these are all called what hackathons level of competitive coding. How to develop your own concept like a value error. Okay. Write down. Write a Python program or write like this. Don't write like that. Define a programmer defined exception. Define a programmer defined exception. Define a programmer defined exception. In such a way that it should work like value error. 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 What is the use of value error? Value error is coming in invalid conversions only now. So invalid conversions only value error is going to come. So I'm going to take a one more kind of thing, students. Online students, I hope you are understanding. Once again, మీకు value error తెలుసో లేదో నాకు తెలియదు. But I want to show you once. Because where is that value error? I already said to you. Int of 10x. It is called what? Value error. In the typecasting time only I said to you. Conversion. Today I'm using what? KVR int. KVR int. KVR int work like what? Int function. So KVR int is taking what? 10x. You will get which error? Come on. Tell me if you are talented, you answer my question now. Syntax error. Syntax error. Who said type error? Good. Who said? Wrong answer. Come on. Good. Name error. Name error. Sir, where you said, sir? Where you said, sir? If you don't read my notes now, you are out of order, students. Go to that. Functions here. Functions in Python. See, for every function, call, there must exist a function definition. Otherwise, we get what? Name error. My notes is an Indian constitution. Anta untadu అందులో. Everything is there. Everything is there. If you don't read, you are out of order. What is that error? Name error. Name error. If you don't read, what can I do? What can I do? Already everything is there. Now I want to define. Let's start. Here I'm going to take it. Conversion exception. Convert. Convert exception. PET.py. It's my style of coding. I will take this. I will do what? Class. What is this now? Come on. Something like convert value error. Convert what? Value error. Of what I'm taking? Base exception I'm taking. Anything, no problem. Anything you can use it. Exception development, I made it ready. Next I will go to where? Next I will go to where? I'm going to write it. Convert operation. Convert operation dot py. Convert operation dot py. What a beautiful. Come on here. KVR int. KVR int. It is accepting what? Value. Value. What is that value? If value dot what? Is a digit. Is a digit of what? Is a digit of What I will do? I will convert it. How I will convert it? I will say x is equal to int of what? Value. Int of value. And say what? Return x. Return x. Else, if it is not digit, what I will do? Return. Return in the sense what? No. Come on. Raise. What is that exception name? Convert value error. Convert value error. So I'm going to take it from convert exception, exception, import what? Convert value error. Are you able to follow? Either result will come or what? Convert value error will come. Exception development, exception hitting. I'm going to use it what? Main program. So I'll go to this place. Here I'm going to take it. Convert, convert main, convert main dot what? Py. So there I'm going to take it. This one, this is known as what here? Main program, main program. Now I'm going to write it. Come on. What is this now? Value. Input of enter your value. Enter your value. Right? Now I will take it. Enter your value. I'm passing to whom? The convert function. KVR int is a function. I'm passing to that. KVR int of what value? And this function is present in where? Convert process operation. Import what? KVR int. KVR int. Run. This is going to give returning either RES or it is going to be exception. Function call. This is called function call. Great. It is a function call with a result and a what? Exception. If it is exception is coming, my sir already said, keep the statements under where? Try block. And do what? Except. What is that class name now? What is this now? Convert a value error. Convert a value error. And say what? I say here, don't enter any value other than other than int. Other than what? Int value. Other than int value. Okay. So import from where? Convert except. What is this now? Convert value error. Beautiful. Try to run it. Beautiful. Enter the value here. I'm going to take it here. KVR. What is this now? Don't enter any value other than what? Enter. So here I did not print the result. I need to say what? Else. I'm saying what? Print of, right? What is this? Converted value. Converted value from string. From which data type? str is equal to dot format of what here? Value. RES, huh? Okay, RES. Done. If you want finally block, you want to write you can write it. But finally block is not necessary now. Necessary or not necessary? Not necessary. I am from finally block. Write or run students. Here enter the value. Some 12. 12. Converted value from str is 12. I am from which block? Finally block. I will say something like 12x. 12x. Don't enter any value other than what? Int value. Are you following me? Next, you try to enter 12.34. Don't enter any value other than that. Next is called what? Minus 12.34. Don't enter other than this. Now I'm going to write it what? Minus 12. It is also going to give. But actually minus 12 need to come or not? Minus 12 need to come. Yes or no? So how do you deal with that? Any logic? Minus 12 also need to come. How do you write it? Pudubavulu, come on. So here and value dot starts with starts with starts with what is this? Hyphen like starts with ends with already explained. Explained or not explained? మరి గుర్తులేవు. నాట్ రిమెంబరింగ్. Gajnis. So, enter. So, coming to the place. Explained or not explained? Explained. So, minus 23. Don't enter any value other than this. Is digit. What I wrote it there. What I wrote it there. Is digit starts with, okay, 1 minute. Here I will do one thing, student. 1 minute, ma. Starts with, I will adjust the code. This one I will take up. Here, this is the one. One more if statement I will write it. One more if statement I will write it. If I'll write it. Here I'll say x is equal to this statement I will write it. Remove this colon. One more bracket. One more bracket. Else. Now I'm going to write it. If this is the digit, it is coming. Next it is coming. If I will write it. Else I am writing. Else I am writing. Coming to the point back. Coming to this place. Else. Now I'll start with like this. This one they don't run. This one I will run it. Say the value called 12. 12. Next say the value called minus 34. Converted value. And say the value called what? 12.34. No. Our int also cannot do that. Our int function. You don't know that. You're much better already. 7 a.m. Typecasting techniques. Beautiful topic. Int of here str int possible, str possible, str float not possible. It is called what error? Value error. Everything systematic. Everything systematic. Effect. You enter next. You enter next. KV1234. It is called like this. Minus 12, 12x. Minus 12x. It is going to give you what? Value error. That also I need to take it. Minus 12x also I will take care. Here I will write it. This one you are taking. Minus 12x or minus 12x if this is going to be doing what next term? If I will write it. If value error. If this is going to give you value error. What I will do now? Here I am going to take up value starts of this one. If you will write it. Starts with that and you are doing what? And what is this now? What I will do? This is called one thing you are taking. In this case, it is becoming what? Starts with only. But before that, I will write one small point. This point I will write it here. Starts with you are taking. And next you are going to take it what? I will take it value of 1 colon dot what? Is ALNUM is ALNUM is alphanumeric starts with done and you are writing there what you are saying raise what error convert value error starting with what hyphen starting with hyphen 1 onwards I am taking if I take it minus 1 to x 1 onwards means what this one I am taking this one I am taking 1 colon means what slicing what is this is called alphanumeric alphanumeric. What is happening here? It is going to give you which error? Yes, this is the one you need to take it. I hope you are following me. So, if this one you are writing it. Try to run this. If anything is there, again we will do the change. Because application development is a continuous change. 12x. So what is happening? Don't enter other than that. You enter minus 12. Don't enter other than that. Again coming here. Again the error is coming. What I will do? Again problem is coming. What I will do? Go to this place. Here, value error is coming. Other than that, where it is satisfying? Here it is satisfying. And alphanumeric. And what? Value dot. What is this? Is a digit. Is a digit. I'm saying. Okay. Go to that. Say this now. Enter the value called what you know? What is that? Minus 12x. What is this is coming? Int value error. Where is that int value error is coming? Line number is giving you something like 10th line. 10th line, where is that error? Here in this place. Here starts with elif 12x. It is going to give you this part. When I was removed this, what error was coming? Try to run this once. What is the error here? Minus 12x. Okay, this is working. Next, minus 23. What is that? That is also coming here. Minus 23 is coming. Wait, that minus 23 I need to take care. If minus 23 is coming, this is anyhow it is coming. Okay. After that, value starts with this is satisfying, and this one is coming like this. Here it is satisfying. That's why it is coming. Here I need to write it. Here I need to write it. ALNUM. ALNUM. This is satisfying for what? This place also. I will write it here. Here I will write it. If value of that part, after writing that, I will write it. Inside of that, I will write it. If this value, I will write it. Dot is error. Don't feel complicated because this is required to understand like this. Value num. And I will write it what you know. Value dot is a digit. Value dot what? Is a digit. Hyphen. Because of this hyphen, convert error. Because of this conversion, int of value. Value 1 is ALNUM and is of what? Digit if I write it, it is giving you what? Value error. Else, I will take it return of int of value I can say. Try to understand this part. Say here minus 12x. Minus 12x I will write it. Minus 12x. Still value error is coming. So here I'm going to write it line number 11. Line number 11 here. Return of value. If I enter the input as here called what? Minus 12x. Minus 12x. Here it is starting. Okay, that is satisfied. Value of this one is ALNUM. It is satisfied. And value digit, it is coming to this place. This is giving an error. So here I need to take it ALNUM alphanumeric digit return of this return of this, else, where is the exception? Raise this, starts with is digit into value, else, check it out, go to this place, main program, minus 12x coming, you say minus 12, this part is required, minus 12, in this place, minus 12 is a digit, and value dot starts with this thing, value of what, my 1 colon, value dot 1 colon, coming to this now, run this now. So here minus 12, minus 12x, next 20, next minus 123, yes, next minus 123x coming. Are you following? So first our brain has to work. Our brain has to work. Here starts with, but I'm started, but I'm taking what? I'm not taking this one. Starts with okay. But what I will take from here onwards, I'm taking here onwards. Slicing I'm applying. Is that part is called digita? No. It is coming to where? Raise conversion error. If it is minus 12 only, okay, starts with okay, good. Now, is a digit. From 1 onwards, is a digit. Yes, done. Are you following this? Now, enter, enter, go to, enter, minus, minus, x 123, minus x 123. Don't enter that. You enter whatever you like it. So, don't enter anything. Coming. This is called real development. Without telling, I can move forward. Adventurous coding things you have to do in the class. Nobody will teach all these things. Nobody except me. Granted. You should search in the internet also. You'll not find this code. Are you following me? This is exactly the code of what? Value error. Online students. So, coming to the point of it, this is the logic which I written it after going to home, read slicing, all those things you read slicing concept. I used it here. Logic development will give you a lot of pleasure. First of all, it gives a lot of pleasure. Lot of pleasure. All people will not have that intelligence. Will have that intelligence. Why some people will get 45 lakhs package, 50 lakhs package, 60 lakhs package only for fashion? Huh? No, for intelligence. For intelligence only your investment that you need to do it. Are you following? So try to do it. Tomorrow class when I come back, I'll go for what? Almost time is over. 8:52. Time is almost getting over. So I'll stop my class and tomorrow class when I come back, I'll talk continuously the coding on programmer defined exceptions. Thank you. All the best. Online students, today no doubt session. Time is over. Today there is no doubt session. Time is over. Right.